Yep, so we're up in the Oka, which is the kind of hilltop field. And behind me is a bamboo grove, which is nice and shady. And it's the perfect area to grow mushrooms. So I'm growing shiitake mushrooms using a variety of hodagi, which is basically various types of wood that are specialized for mushroom growth. Right now, spring. So spring and autumn are kind of the basic two main harvest seasons for shiitake mushrooms. They sprout twice a year. You know, that makes it a nice crop to deal with. So you get multiple harvests per year, but also the logs, depending on the size, can last anywhere from 3 to even 5 years. So, you know, it's a lot of work in the beginning, you know, cutting down the trees, inoculation of the spores. But after that, you just kind of leave it be and let nature take its course. And then you're just there to pick some mushrooms, which is also very fun. And you never know what you're going to get. We had a lot of rain yesterday, and now it's really, really hot. So what happens is the mushrooms tend to kind of burst and become very huge in a very short amount of time. So you really have to come up every day and kind of check. I think it's been 3 days since I've been up here, so I'm praying they didn't get too big because they get a little bit thin, not as chewy. So yeah, let's see what we got. I spy with my little eye some mushrooms. This would be kind of a bit overdue, so that's not in the best shape. It's a little bit too big. This one is more or less what you want. And when they have these little white kind of skirts on them, and they're a bit roundish overall, that's a good size. Here are some really good ones, but it looks like some bugs have gotten into them. I probably won't eat them as is. I'll dry them out and use them as dried shiitake. Yeah, this one's pretty good too. Nice skirt on it. Yeah, this one's okay. It's been a little bit squished because where the wood is pressing up against the bamboo pole. So, you know, location and spacing will affect the shape of how the mushroom turns out. This is not what to do. This is a bad example of the entire log kind of slipped and this pole kind of came off. So that was a mistake on my part. So that causes the logs to fall over, and then unfortunately these guys got squished. And these ones, I personally would not use them. Yeah, and I wouldn't even dry them because they're on the ground, so the insects will get to them. And yeah, there are some insects eating it already, so we're not going to use these. Ooh, look at this. Wow. It's like a hamburger sized, patty sized. So this one's a really good one. This one's kind of a weird shape. There's a little bit of moss stuck to it, that's fine. Most likely you're just gonna dry this one out. You know, I've always loved mushrooms. They're probably one of my favorite foods. Can't really call it a vegetable or meat at all, but you know, and especially shiitake mushrooms have always been, you know, the most aromatic for me. My family's used it in a lot of cookings, recipes as well. I think shiitake has the most umami and is also the most available of the mushrooms. They're easy to grow and they provide a good extra protein source. You can store them for a very long time once you dry them, but they're amazing to eat freshly picked as well. You know, I've been farming, doing rice and vegetables for a while now, but I only got into the mushroom game somewhat recently. And it's always eluded me because you're dealing with materials and tools that most gardeners won't really have themselves or maybe unfamiliar with. So there's a little bit of investment involved. So there's a small hurdle to get involved with mushroom farming. So getting the tools is number one, but then after that, then you need a place to store the logs, and you need a location that's, you know, suitable for fungi to break down the logs from inside. And that tends to be this type of shady, damp area, which is somewhat hard to find for some people. Bamboo groves are quite good. Even regular forests, shady forests work as well. I have access to this in my land, so I'm using this bamboo grove. But I've seen people use the greenhouse and they've just covered with dark tarps. and they manage the temperature somehow. But yeah, you can artificially create the ideal conditions. Mushrooms grown in these type of natural environments tend to taste better, and they have a better texture, as well as the sizes are actually, I feel, maybe I'm biased, but a little bit, a little bit thicker. These logs you see is cut over here that I'm sitting on, I cut these last year. They haven't sprouted yet, which is kind of weird. I expected them to sprout. The other ones behind me, I cut down 2 years ago, and they've been continuously giving me mushrooms twice a year. No, I'm not an expert on mushroom farming. I just do it and hope it works. And so far it's been working, so I'm happy with the results. Not trying to micromanage everything. What you need is access to certain types of hodagi, which is a multitude of different types of trees that shiitake can grow in. I tend to use kunugi or naranoki because that's kind of what's available in my area. But shiitake tends to grow in a lot of different types of trees, even the most common like sugi, cedars. Sometimes you just got to try, and even though it's not supposed to work, it ends up working for some weird reason. The logs over here that I cut down 2 years ago, they sprouted immediately, even after I cut them in spring, and they already had mushrooms growing in autumn of the same year, which is not supposed to happen, basically. And while as these ones I've cut 1 year ago, and now it's from spring and now it's spring again, they still haven't, developed mushrooms yet. So, conditions are important. The heat, temperature, light is also important. Maybe even the quality of the spores is going to affect how well it does inside the log. The mushrooms are just the fruiting body. They're basically the flower, if you want to compare it to something. So the real mushroom bodies are actually inside the log, and the mycelium network is slowly decomposing the wood structure and using that as a nutrient source. So maybe something funky is happening inside yet, but let's wait a little bit more till next season, and hopefully these ones here will start producing some shiitake mushrooms as well. Every year I try to add extra logs into the fray, so I'll have a continuous supply of new logs. Eventually what's going to happen are some will decay substantially, like this piece here, you can see is almost withered quite a lot. So this will probably not produce ideal mushrooms, or any if all. But eventually, they'll turn back into the forest floor and you'll lose a batch. So you always want to continue a new batch every year, just to keep tabs on the ones that you're losing as well. The real difference for me in terms of gardening and farming and mushroom farming would be having knowledge of how forests work. Of course, a certain amount of forestry work. You need a chainsaw, you need saws, you need some electrical drills to be able to drill holes in the logs. So I think having basic knowledge about how forests work is an important part of getting into mushrooms. It's a totally different world. So if you're thinking of challenging yourself, I think it's a very, very worthwhile, challenging, but rewarding aspect of self-sufficiency, and kind of another offshoot of gardening in general. All right, well, maybe we'll take a look at the tools I have in my itinerary and what each one does. So yeah, let's hop on the other side. All right, so it all begins here with these tools. You'll need a trusty chainsaw. Got my cheap Husqvarna. Yeah, it's a very solid tool. A bit on the heavy side, but gets the job done. It's a good entry-level beginner chainsaw. So once you cut the logs, you'll cut them into about generally 90 centimeter length, and then you want to drill holes in them, so you need a nice little drill. This is the essential bit. This is the specialized drill bit that digs the exact type of hole that matches the inoculated pegs. So this is important. So this and this are basically sets. It says the size here, like 8.5 millimeters. There's going to be others like 9.6. It usually doesn't matter so much as long as it fits. It's on sale. This is like much more than half price, I think. Probably like 70% off. This brand is really nice. It comes with a nice instructional guide in Japanese, unfortunately. And even comes with a calendar on what type of work you should be doing and when. So when should you start cutting trees, doing the logging, inoculation. So we are just we're just about here right now. So we're still in the inoculation phase. After this, it gets a little bit too dry and too hot. Here are the spores, and they've been inoculated with a kind of a mother Shiitake mushroom spore. And these are basically pegs. So they look like that, and then they're thrown into this bag with the, I guess, the mother fungus. They will all become inoculated with spores. So you'll take one of these pegs, and then you'll use this drill bit. You will drill a hole into the log, and then you'll put the peg into the hole and use a hammer to push it in and secure it. And then from there on, it's just a waiting game. Great, so hope you guys enjoyed the content today. If you're interested in rural Japan living, how to be more self-sufficient, deep Japanese culture, just getting in touch with nature, then yeah, please subscribe, like it, and tell your friends about it. And hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.